Sorry, I had to get ready for something while the last video uploaded. Okay. Anyway, Libby and the class election, chapter 9. I actually do need to do something with that. Okay, so we only have chapter 9, which is short, and then chapter 10 and the epilogue left. Unlike in the last book where we had 13 chapters. Okay, anyway. This will all be over by tomorrow afternoon, said Ava as she and Libby climbed the stairs together on the way to the class after they hung all the posters. Thank goodness. Libby stopped on the landing. You don't sound that excited about it, she said. Ava shrugged. So what made you decide to run for president anyway? Libby asked. It happened by accident, Ava said with a sigh. No one was running, and the principal made an announcement at assembly one morning urging students to throw their hats into the ring. Libby's eyes widened. Wishlings did some crazy things. What did tossing your hat have to do with an election? That's exactly what she said, Ava continued. And I was wearing a hat, so of course I tossed it up into the stage as a joke. And the next thing I knew, Sammy Decker nominated me right then and there. And then no one else wanted to run, and the principal kept saying that someone else had to run against me. So they couldn't just give it to me. So I talked Christy into running too. We figured that one of us would win, and then the other person would help them out. It didn't matter who won to us. We thought it would be fun. Libby considered this. That's interesting. But things changed, obviously. This girl named Holly volunteered to be Christy's campaign manager. And then little by little, things started getting competitive. Fancy posters, free candy if you promised to vote for her. And then Christy got really busy after school all the time and couldn't spend time with me. Then Waverly volunteered to help me, and then before I knew it, Christy and I just stopped talking. It was so weird. Libby nodded. That is weird. So what happens tomorrow? Tomorrow afternoon, the whole school comes to the auditorium to hear our speeches, Ava said. Then everyone votes. They count up the ballots, and one of us will be then the one with the most votes wins. And then you win, Libby thought. One more day, and then you win. I still don't know why Lunch Lady freaked out, said Waverly as she headed out of the cafeteria that afternoon. She just started yelling about chicken fingers out of the blue. It was so bizarre. Libby shrugged tiredly. She had a pretty good idea about what happened. She had discovered her special talent, the ability to turn one whistling object into another. In line, as they held their trays, she had overheard Ava softly saying, I wish they would serve chicken fingers today. And before Libby knew it, she had transformed a tray of turkey sliders into chicken fingers. Whatever those were, she didn't want to know. Libby couldn't help herself. She hadn't realized that it would completely freak the lunch lady out. No more little wishes, Libby thought. Concentrate on the big wish. You're almost done. She stole a glance at the countdown clock. She was right on target for the election the next day. She needed to focus. Imagine mixing up sliders and chicken fingers, said Waverly. So strange. The three girls had finished their lunches quickly and left the cafeteria early. They walked down the hall, turned a corner, and headed toward their classroom. They all gasped at the same time. The hallway was lined with posters they had taped up that morning. But now each picture had a large curlicue mustache drawn on Ava's serious face. They looked so funny that Libby almost bursted out laughing. But a glance at Ava's confused expression and Waverly's furious one forced her to clap her mouth shut. I can't believe it, said Ava. Who would have done such a thing? I can believe it, said Waverly, crossing her arms tightly. Politics is a dirty business. It's a stupid joke that has Christy and Holly written all over it. Well, now we have no choice. We have to retaliate, she thought for a moment and nodded. We have to break all of the balloons on their posters. Waverly, said Ava. We can't do that. She looked down at the floor, her expression sad. I just can't believe that Christy would do that to me. She shook her head. I can't believe it's come to this. Believe it, said Waverly. That's politics. Libby thought fast. Listen, she said. You have to look at both sides. Sure, maybe Christy did draw mustaches on all of Ava's posters. If so, that's not right. But if she did and Ava retaliates, she's sinking to her level. You could get caught and be disqualified. Or people could get turned off by the bad behavior and they won't know who to vote for. Or maybe they didn't vote at all. Or maybe they don't vote at all. Nobody wins. Waverly opened her mouth to speak, but Libby held up her hand. And just suppose Christy didn't do it. It's completely possible that some kid grabbed a pen and decided to be artistic. She smiled. The artist didn't sign his or her work, so we'll never know. Well, we can't leave them up, wailed Waverly. She'll be a laughingstock of the school. She stomped over to one of the posters. Fine, she spat out. We'll just take them down. Wait, Libby cried. She thought for a moment, then smiled. I have the perfect idea. She held out her hand. Do either of you have one of those... She searched her brain for the whistling word. One of those thick black writing utensils. The girl stared at her. Do you mean a magic marker? Ava asked, looking at her oddly. Oh, that's what it's called. Yes, one of those, said Libby. Ava fished around in her bag and pulled out a thick capped marker. Here you go, she said. Libby marched over to the first poster and fixed it. It was awkward and enjoyable to write on paper instead of the air on a hollow notebook. When Ava saw what she had done, she had laughed and laughed. It's perfect, she chortled. Just my style. Waverly shook her head. I think it's silly, she said. She walked up to the poster and looked again. Yep, I hate it, she said. Get over it, said Libby saucily. Everyone is going to love it. Trust me. Was she right? Libby watched, holding her breath, as the end of lunch bell rang and students started spilling out of the lunchroom. The first group stopped short in front of one of the posters. After a moment, they all began pointing and laughing. That's awesome! So funny. Hysterical! Libby and Ava had gone up and down the hallway, drawing speech balloons next to Ava's mustachioed face. Then they all carefully lettered the words, I mustache you to vote for me, in the balloons. Ava's eyes were shining. Everyone's laughing. They think it's funny. It's exactly what I wanted in the first place, she said. Thank you, Libby. You're welcome, said Libby. Damn, that was short. But anyway, next video is chapter 10 and the epilogue. So I will see you guys in the next video.